Tonight, a city divided as a mask mandate inches forward for Duluth. People are speaking out about the proposal.
And defying the odds as coronavirus cases remain high in congregate living settings, how a veterans home is bucking the trend.
And later, vision for the future. We introduce you to Duluth's new superintendent, how he plans to move the school district forward.
From CBS3 Duluth, this is the CBS3 News at 10.
Good evening, I'm Kristen Bakke.
And I'm Anthony Matt. Thanks for joining us. There's a big debate going on in Duluth whether masks should be mandatory.
It comes after more than 1,500 people signed a petition calling for Duluth to require the wearing of face masks in public places. After seeing the petition, some Duluth city and health leaders today announced plans to introduce a face mask ordinance at an upcoming council meeting. The ordinance would only include indoor spaces where business with the public is conducted. This would include businesses, churches, nonprofits, and government buildings. People eating and drinking at restaurants would not be required to wear masks. Schools, child care facilities, and fitness facilities with plans in line with state guidance will not be affected. Duluth City Council member Eric Forsman says those who do not comply could face legal action.
We're going to be reasonable. The goal here is not enforcement, but if folks are being unreasonable and there's egregious and multiple violations, there is an escalation in the fine process that can occur.
This proposal has sparked a lot of debate within the community. CBS 3's John Cardinelli heard from many today.
A mandatory face mask proposal for the city of Duluth is stirring up strong feelings citywide.
I support a mask requirement in Duluth because not only do I want to slow down the spread of coronavirus in general to help the economy and to get people back out in the world as safely as possible.
Others on the complete opposite end of the spectrum.
My personal philosophy is I'm a grown adult. I'm a grown adult. I don't need anyone to tell me what I need to do. And I think a lot of people over the last 3 to 4 months have gotten to that point.
Galen Lee, a Duluth resident, says wearing masks should be mandatory to protect vulnerable populations.
I think out of respect for human life, we can do our part to keep those people as safe as possible.
Dan Hines, also a Duluthian, says the ordinance would make the local economy take a hit.
There's a lot of people who are not okay with this, that are going to take their businesses, their business to places that don't mandate that, whether it's across the border or just to a different city. And ultimately, you're going to have local businesses that are going to be even more drastically affected than they already have been.
Whether you are for mandatory mask wearing,
if we wore masks as a community, we could slow the spread down,
or against it,
I personally will choose to go somewhere that allows me to be who I am and assess my own risk and go there.
One thing seems certain: the pandemic is very much still present.
The council will vote on the ordinance at its next meeting on July 13th. If passed, it will go into effect immediately.
Minnesotans in urgent need of insulin will now have better, cheaper access to the life-saving drug. The Alex Smith Insulin Affordability Act took effect today. Governor Tim Walz signed the bill in April. Among its benefits, once a year, it allows eligible Minnesotans to get a 1-month supply of insulin for just a $35 copay. Before insulin prices were driving some Minnesotans to seek access to the drug in Canada. The bill's namesake, Alex Smith, died when he was 26. He could not afford the insulin he needed when he was forced off his parents' health insurance.
Nicole Smith Holt and James Holt bravely shared Alex's story and advocated for legislation to hold pharmaceutical companies accountable so that no one loses a family member because they cannot afford insulin.
The bill went through a long debate and had been a sticking point at the Minnesota State Capitol. And just hours before that law took effect, the pharmaceutical industry sued to try and block it. The Pharmaceutical Research and Manufacturers of America filed a lawsuit in federal court. It's asking the court to declare the law unconstitutional. The pharmaceutical industry raised their concerns during the state legislature's long debate over the bill. Supporters say they're confident the law would survive a court challenge. And Dave joins us for a look at the weather. Dave, hot around the region today for a lot of folks.
Yeah, it was pretty warm, very close to what it was yesterday, maybe a degree or two cooler. And cooler by the lake, well, it was around for a couple of towns. Let's take a look at today's top temperatures. Silver Bay is what I'm getting at here. Silver Bay is really only a couple hundred yards up the hill from the shoreline, but that didn't save them today. Even 82 degrees there, upper 80s from Ely to Orr, and looking at 89 Ashland and Ironwood. Tomorrow, towns like that could crack 90 degrees. And tonight, well, right now we're looking at perhaps a 30% chance for rain overnight. It's dialed down from what we thought at 6 o'clock. So slight chance for rain here tonight. Then our day planner for tomorrow says it becomes mostly sunny and warm again. 89 in the Twin Ports could lead to 90 inland. And we'll talk about it in more detail in a few more minutes.
All right, thanks, Dave. Senators from Minnesota and Wisconsin are asking the Department of Justice to ensure Native communities have access to polling locations in the upcoming elections. Minnesota Senators Amy Klobuchar and Tina Smith and Wisconsin Senator Tammy Baldwin joined other senators in sending a letter to the DOJ. It cites concerns over the number of polling places shut down in Native communities due to COVID-19. In one instance, people in Arizona had to travel almost 300 miles to vote. The senators are asking the DOJ to work with tribal leaders to find solutions and ensure Native people are able to cast their ballots.
Many nursing homes across the country and in Minnesota have been impacted by COVID-19. But one veterans home on the North Shore has steered clear of the virus. CBS 3's Emma Quinn spoke with staff and residents on how they're staying safe and keeping their spirits alive.
The Minnesota Veterans Home in Silver Bay hasn't seen the impact the coronavirus has had on other assisted living homes throughout the country. In fact, not even close.
And we have not had any staff or any residents with COVID in our building, and we think it's because of our pretty stringent COVID, protocol. That's the reason that we don't have any.
That protocol includes health screenings where staff get their temperature taken before they can start their shift.
Then, of course, we have our garb. Of course, the infamous infection control that we wear, and we have to wear surgical masks, and everybody all day on their shift wears a face shield.
Staff purchased iPads for residents to keep in touch with family and friends when visiting was put on hold. For veteran Mike Doden, it's helped him keep in touch with loved ones.
Got some friends from Sioux Falls, South Dakota, and also in Laverne.
And just recently, visitors were allowed to come back, but there are requirements. You have to stand on the outside of the patio, and there's plexiglass that divides them from the residents. While the precautions are all for good measures, it did mean canceling the 28th annual fishing trip with the American Legion Post 109.
Safety first, and you can't have these residents on a boat, on a charter boat. There's no social distancing whatsoever. So it's a sad deal.
While it may be sad, keeping our country's heroes, especially those with pre-existing conditions, safe is the first priority.
According to the Minnesota Department of Health's website, Lake County, where the veteran home is located, only has 6 positive cases of COVID-19. Meanwhile, members of the Two Harbor American Legion Post presented a $500 check to the Silver Bay Veterans Home this morning. Legion members say they raised the money from charitable gambling. They hope the money will help their fellow heroes in need.
And veterans are our #1 priority, and anything we can do to help our fellow veterans is what we do. And
staff at the home say they may use the donation to help pay for a newly finished monument at the home's entrance.
A Hibbing World War II veteran was laid to rest this morning. You may remember 92-year-old Stanley Savar. We first introduced you to him when his American flag, given to him only by his only living son, was stolen from his property last September. He passed away at his home 2 weeks ago. CBS 3's Leanne Valdez spoke to Savar's only living son today and explains what his father lived for.
Who goes from pushing a broom at a mining company to becoming the assistant director?
Aside from having a strong love for his family and drive that went for miles, Stanley Savar's son says his father had a passion for his country.
He definitely had a passion and love for the U.S.
Star-Spangled Banner waving somewhere.
He knew he wanted to serve in the military at the tender age of 15.
He got into the service by fibbing on the entrance paperwork because he wanted to go fight for his country.
So when Savar's American flag was stolen off his property last September, he was shocked.
He goes, who in their right mind comes in onto a person's property and steals an old person's flag?
It was quickly replaced by Congressman Pete Stauber after community members rallied around Savar on social media.
It was a day of honor for Pete to bring that flag to Stan Savar and to give that to him. It came from his heart.
Savar was honored, too.
He was blessed that Congressman Stauber saw him to that level of being recognized as an American hero.
Wednesday morning, Savar received his final flag. Community members, family, and friends gathered to stand with Savar one last time.
He just had that natural ability to be able to talk to people, talk to the community.
And those close to him, never forgetting what he stood for.
Look at the way he loved my mom. Look at the way he loved his kids.
Savar served in the Navy at the rank of Seaman Second Class. His final resting place is at the Calvary Cemetery in Chisholm.
Still to come, it was the first day on the job for Duluth's new superintendent, how he's taken the reins in the middle of a pandemic.
Record high temp for the day, 99 degrees from 18, 83 tomorrow, 2020, well, at least 90 for some towns. So will warm spells here and will last perhaps for an entire week. We'll talk about that and if any more rain chances are coming our way.
Incredible deals, huge markdowns, plus free doorstep shipping on everything. What a sale. The 4th of July sale at Slumberland Furniture.
We all deserve more summer. So DQ is bringing you 2 summer favorites in one. With the new Drumstick Blizzard with peanuts. A drumstick, the original sundae cone, and our world-famous vanilla soft serve. Let's fit more summer into every bite. DQ. Happy tastes good.
Every second, 127 new devices connect to the internet. You can feel it happening. Our digital world expanding with every breath. We're entering a whole new era of connectivity, and MediaCom will be ready to power it with one of the nation's first 10G platforms. We'll be bringing you more speed, more capacity, more security, and the power to do more than you ever dreamed possible.
At Super One Foods, you'll find more than just low prices and better choices. You'll find friendly faces like ours, working hard to save you money.
Super One has a tireless commitment to quality and freshness and a goal of delivering 5-star service to every customer to bring the absolute best value to your shopping experience. Check out these specials available at all Super One locations going on now.
So stop into the Super One Foods right in your neighborhood. Super One Foods, serving you low prices and better choices.
Bonjour and Dinaway Maganadug. Hello, all my relatives. I'm Dr. Arnie Vinio, and I live in Duluth, and I love Duluth and the surrounding communities. Keeping COVID-19 from spreading is going to depend on all of us. Washing our hands frequently, keeping social distance, staying home if you can, and wearing a face mask is important. We need to keep our elders and those most vulnerable safe. This is about respect. This is about love.
Right now at Slumberland, get a Sealy mattress, any size for one low price, starting at just $99 each piece when purchased in sets. Wanted extra plush? Just $199. The 4th of July mattress sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez on CBS3.
Now, the CBS3 Duluth WeatherMax forecast with meteorologist Dave Anderson.
Well, tonight the sky was filled with beautiful clouds, towering cumulus clouds, trying oh so hard to become cumulonimbus storm clouds, but being hampered, especially as they got closer to Lake Superior and the cooler air there. So we take a look at this one coming in from Lake Vermilion, and it looks like it's just about there, trying to form the anvil top there and deliver some rain. But frankly, since we last chatted, our rain chance odds overnight here tonight have fallen from 60% to only 30%. Again, plenty of heat energy inland to lift up those clouds, but then they get closer to the lake and that crashes them down again. The end result's going to be not much in the way of precip, at least until Sunday. Then we get another round. Here's what we got right now at the airport. 70 degrees for the current temp, relative humidity 84%, and an easterly southeasterly wind that's going 5 miles per hour. Air pressure's increased a couple of millibars in the last 4 hours. That's because despite the tracking of a low through our area overnight, hard on its heels is a high pressure cell that's going to make it sunny and dry, at least through the first half of the Independence Day weekend. Current temperatures cooling down towards Watersmeet at 68, but still toasty in Ironwood at 76, 72 to 75 from Ashland down towards Hayward, and then hooking back through Minong and getting towards Solon Springs, mid-70s there. Cooler by the lake in Superior at 61, but still 73 Moose Lake, 75 in Ely, 69 Hibbing, a little warmer than that in Grand Rapids, and 67 in National Falls. North Shore numbers as warm as 70 in Silver Bay. So a warm period is with us. This warm spell, like I say, will last probably the next 7 days, with inland temperatures going 80s to about 90 and a little bit of respite found closer to the lake. Doppler map right now shows a few spotty showers have been trying to kick up here as several fronts associated with an occluded low pressure system work through the area, but these showers have been few and far between and have not delivered that much, and there's probably not much that's going to come across as this low makes its way through, yes, but very, very, very rapidly, and then its wake not leaving much in the way of precip. What would we get if it did pay off? How much would a woodchuck chuck? Rain totals will look like this, a trace in Minnesota, not much at all. Maybe a tenth over towards Mellon and places like that. So no, not much rain from this system. And then with the high taking over, it's going to be high and dry through the 4th of July. Low temps tonight, Minnesota-wise, about 60 to 65 degrees, 30% rain chance. 30% chance for our friends in Wisconsin and Michigan as well, with low temps there, 63 to 66. Tomorrow, Wisconsin and the UP, your high temps will be very close to 90 degrees. And in Minnesota, close to 90 inland. 70s by the lake if you need to take a break. Well, what do we get for the 7 days ahead here? Warm temperatures, sunshine from Thursday through Saturday. Then Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, we do get rain chances, 50-50 shots each of those 3 days. One of the latest charts indicates reasonable totals on Sunday, even if it falls apart for Monday and Tuesday. And of course, the way we're clutching at rain straws around here, we will take what we can get.
Thanks, Dave. The Duluth School District has a new superintendent. John Megas started the job today in the midst of a pandemic. He shared with CBS3's Jesse Slater plans on what he hopes to accomplish.
Duluth School District's newest superintendent is finding his footing within the community.
Working with our administrative teams and teachers and community members just to learn as much as possible.
John Magus, who recently served as the Associated Superintendent of Continuous Improvement for Green Bay Area Public Schools, is preparing to take on a challenging role as COVID-19 impacts schools.
We will be focused, of course, on safety, but also making sure that our students are deeply engaged in learning.
First things first, he's focused on getting kids back to the books.
Making sure that our fall return to learn plan is as solid as possible.
And thinking long term.
I, of course, want to focus deeply on equity issues and culturally responsive practices, closing achievement gaps.
When asked if the district would consider implementing a mandatory mask policy, Magus said there's still a lot to figure out.
We have to consider what are the guidelines that are being shared by our local health department. We also have to consider, in certain cases, the individual students.
The new superintendent, eager to take on a number of responsibilities in his new home city.
I'm really incredibly honored to be part of the Duluth Public Schools.
At this time, it's unclear whether students will be attending school in person. Megas said the district is preparing students for whatever scenario they may find themselves in come the fall.
Many summer attractions were derailed due to COVID-19. Duluth's North Shore Scenic Railroad got back on track today. The railroad offered its first tours of the summer with new safety protocols in place. Ken Bueller, general manager of the North Shore Scenic Railroad, says despite these new restrictions, the first train did sell out. He says the depot's museum also saw a lot of visitors today.
Today we were able to start with our first train leaving on time, sold out. And the museum opened up with all the new safety and sanitation protocols, and we've had people visiting all day. So it's been very exciting.
Masks will be required in the trains and in the museum. They'll also have reduced hours.
Still to come, rapid deployment teams are being sent out to protect statues and monuments nationwide. We have the details coming up.
CBS3 live cams are brought to you by Kohler Chevrolet Buick GMC Cadillac. You're not just getting a car, you're getting Kohler.
We see you as you sit behind the wheel of your truck. We see you shake out the nerves before you pick up your hammer, your scissors, your pots and pans. As you find new ways to keep the lights on and put the pieces back together, we see you. As you straighten the rows, keep your customers safe, and crunch the numbers, we see you. As you head back to work, we see you. You've got this. We're open to help you reopen. Visit bbb.org.
Bonjour and Dinaway Maganadug. Hello, all my relatives. I'm Dr. Arnie Vinio, and I live in Duluth, and I love Duluth and the surrounding communities. Keeping COVID-19 from spreading is going to depend on all of us. Washing our hands frequently, keeping social distance, staying home if you can, and wearing a face mask is important. We need to keep our elders and those most vulnerable safe. This is about respect. This is about love.
Mariah Haberman here from Discover Wisconsin. Join me and the rest of the DW crew every week on this station for all things Wisconsin. Continue the adventure on social media and discoverwisconsin.com for behind-the-scenes content and great Wisconsin giveaways, including a chance to win a free vacation. This week's featured prize package could take you to Baraboo. Just visit discoverwisconsin.com for details.
Our Northland may not have the longest severe weather season, but it does come around every now and then. I'm hoping folks will keep an eye to the sky and on Channel 3 here this summer. If severe weather threatens, Austin Haskins, Caitlin Moffett, and I will keep our eyes glued to the radar. We'll break in if you need to hear about the latest storm developments. We'll work together to keep our region safe.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS3.
Hello, I'm Steve Little, owner of Bath Planet. We are excited about the reopening of our economy, so in celebration, I'm extending our special financing offer until the end of July. Right now, we are offering 0 down, 0 interest, and 0 payments for 2 years, so you can get the work done now and not have to pay for it until 2022. This offer ends July 31st, so call us today or go online to take advantage of this amazing offer. Bath Planet, out of this world service and down to earth price.
Northwest Outlet is open for business. Now save up to 40% off store-wide.
Classic Rock KQ is once again the Northland's #1 radio station. The KQ Morning Show, the most listened to radio program in the Northland. The KQ Train Wreck, the Northland's #1 afternoon show. Thank you for making us the Northland's #1 radio station. 95 KQDS.
Watch Anthony Matt weekdays at 6 and 10 p.m. on live local CBS3 Duluth.
The Department of Homeland Security says it is sending rapid deployment teams across the country to protect national monuments and statues ahead of the 4th of July weekend amid calls for the removal of Confederate statues.
Meanwhile, the president is threatening to veto a major defense bill over an amendment to rename some military bases. President Donald Trump created the task force last week with an executive order. He then tweeted about it this morning, saying, quote, "My executive order to protect monuments, statues, etc. is in full force and effect, in excess of a 10-year prison term." Congress is currently considering the National Defense Authorization Act, which the president has threatened to veto over an amendment requiring the Pentagon to rename 10 Army bases named after Confederate leaders. Military leaders and some congressional Republicans have expressed support for the renaming of those military installations.
Kelly's in with sports coming up next.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Here at Memorial Medical Center, we really care about treating the patient as a whole. Instead of looking at the patient as a hip or as a knee, we look at how their hip or the knee affects their life. I'm Joe Signorelli, orthopedic surgeon, and I've been doing joint replacement surgery for 7 years. It's really important for a patient to be comfortable where they're receiving their care. And so if we can provide high quality care at an affordable cost in their home community, I think that's advantageous for the patient. I think they really appreciate it.
Every second of every day, it happens. Something big, something worth talking about. News happens, and you can't wait for it. You need to be constantly digging, asking, hunting, wanting more. More truth, more real answers. More who, what, where, when, and why. And it's about you. It's about now. It's about wherever, whenever. At Live Local CBS 3, it's about the news. Your neighborhood news.
Start in the industry was in reporting and storytelling, and so to have those skills each night really adds value.
They're saying a Duluthian would need to work 90 hours to afford rent.
He went right from a reporter where he was covering everything in the Northland, and he went right to the desk. He really does know what he's talking about.
Get to know Anthony Mann weekday nights on CBS 3.
When news happens, CBS 3 is there.
We're cutting in with a follow-up to some breaking news.
Anytime, day or night. More cases of the coronavirus are popping up across the Northland.
The only confirmed cases in northeastern Minnesota.
Not go shopping today unless you absolutely must. Do not collect any supplies or equipment unless you absolutely need it today.
The Northland has seen its first coronavirus-related death.
For breaking stories that impact the Northland most, tune to CBS 3.
I got into journalism when I was in high school, actually, and that's where I really fell in love with the news and the storytelling aspect of it. Being able to bring those things together and keep people informed. It's so important for us to be in a community like Duluth, to be able to hear your stories and then bring them to everybody else in the community.
Wake up with Austin and Jenna at 5 a.m. Every second of every day, it happens. Something big, something worth talking about. News happens, and you can't wait for it. You need to be constantly digging, asking, hunting, wanting more. More truth, more real answers. More who, what, where, when, and why. And it's about you. It's about now. It's about wherever, whenever. At Live Local CBS 3, it's about the news. Your neighborhood news.
The NFL is reportedly cutting its preseason in half this year due to the coronavirus pandemic. That's according to NBC's Mike Florio. The league is expected to make the official announcement tomorrow. That will cut the exhibition schedule from 4 games down to 2, eliminating the first and last weeks of preseason to cut down on team travel. These games will begin on August 20th rather than August 13th. Teams will also have extra time to practice with off-season programs being canceled earlier this year. Training camps are scheduled to begin on July 28th. And in more football news, the Packers officially signed their top 2 draft picks. Quarterback Jordan Love out of Utah State, who they traded up to get with the 26th overall pick in the draft, along with second-rounder A.J. Dillon, a former Boston College running back, who they took with the 62nd overall pick. Green Bay also announced today that they will not be using St. Norbert College as they normally would for training camp, but rather they will just use Lambeau Field for all training camp operations. It was report day for Major League Baseball teams who will now begin summer training camp for the opening of the 2020 season. Boy, it's good to be back. Both the Twins and the Brewers players reported to their respective facilities earlier today. All players and staff will be tested for COVID-19 immediately, although the first official team workouts aren't scheduled to take place until this weekend. 24 days from now, Major League Baseball is set to open up play. So far, an unspecified number of players in the Twins organization have already tested positive for COVID-19. The league plans to publicly report the data of all future testing. And now we have entered the month of July, which, like I just mentioned, in 2020 has become the unofficial month of returning to pro sports, including Major League Baseball, the NHL, and the NBA, all by the end of the month. While the Timberwolves won't be returning this summer, the Bucks are coming back as the #1 seed in the East. Training camp begins on July 9th, which is a week from Thursday in Orlando, Florida. Superstar forward Giannis Antetokounmpo met with the media via a Zoom call today to discuss his thoughts on returning to basketball after 4 months away from the court. He's disappointed that they won't get to reap the benefits of home court in the playoffs, but Giannis actually compares the Orlando campus environment to previous experiences he's had with FIBA in Europe, living in close quarters with the very people he's competing against.
It's going to be hard. Obviously, you know, when you go against somebody, you don't want to live with him. You don't want to see him every day. You don't want to go down and grab lunch or dinner and see them right there in front of you. But at the end of the day, you know, I've done that before. I've played a couple FIBA tournaments. That's how it is in FIBA. So I just gotta, you know, stay locked in. My business, don't say much. Obviously, I'm going to see them, but they're going to see me too. So, you know, it goes both ways.
And Giannis also addressed the Bucks' chase for an NBA title, which he says may have an asterisk on it, but not the way you might think.
I've heard a lot of people say that, you know, there's going to be, how you guys say, the star next to this championship. I feel like at the end of the day, this is going to be the toughest, like, championship you could ever win. You know, because like the circumstances are really, really tough right now. So whoever wants it more is going to be able to go out there and take it.
He's certainly getting me hyped up for the NBA season. Milwaukee opens against the Boston Celtics on July 31st. 7 of their 8 remaining regular season games will be on national TV. Let's go. Let's tip it off. That's going to do it for sports tonight. We'll be right back after the break.
CBS3 closed captioning is brought to you by Essentia Health Pharmacies, keeping things safe, simple, and convenient through mail, local delivery, drive-through, and curbside pickup services.
Schneiderman's helps you celebrate life's happiest moments when everyone has a spot, even Spot. It's BOGO time at Schneiderman's. Buy one item and get another half off during the 4th of July sale at Schneiderman's Furniture.
Northwest Outlet Store is open. Yes, Northwest Outlet is open for business. Tuesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. Now, get up to 40% off of the North Face and Columbia's entire line of summer clothing. New colors, styles on capris, tees, shorts, rain, wind, and fleece jackets. And UPF sun-rated clothing. Big bargains on sandals, rubber boots, and trail shoes from Keen, Teva, Merrill, Chaco, Columbia, and the North Face. Northwest Outlet is open Tuesdays through Saturdays, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. and online 24/7 with curbside pickups during store hours.
Keep scrolling. Order food. Skip headlines. Order shoes. Use AutoSend for flowers. Use AutoSend for birthdays. Don't go outside. Don't go outside. Don't leave the phone behind. No sync. Don't blink. Don't think. Don't ever let yourself feel this alive. Breathe. Ride.
Every second of every day, it happens. Something big, something worth talking about. News happens, and you can't wait for it. You need to be constantly digging, asking, hunting, wanting more. More truth, more real answers. More who, what, where, when, and why. And it's about you. It's about now. It's about wherever, whenever. At Live Local CBS3, it's about the news. Your neighborhood news.
Bonjour and Dinaway Maganadug. Hello, all my relatives. I'm Dr. Arnie Vinio, and I live in Duluth, and I love Duluth and the surrounding communities. Keeping COVID-19 from spreading is going to depend on all of us. Washing our hands frequently, keeping social distance, staying home if you can, and wearing a face mask is important. We need to keep our elders and those most vulnerable safe. This is about respect. This is about love.
Schneiderman's helps you celebrate life's peaceful moments. 8 hours at a time. Save up to $200 on our new Beauty Rest Harmony Luxe mattress sets, plus get a 365-night trial only at Schneiderman Sleep.
Catch Eye on Parenting every Thursday at 6 with me, Leanne Valdez, on CBS3.
Watch Dave, Caitlin, and Austin for local weather you can trust on CBS.
All right, this is going to sound a little weird. 92,
Not a little.
92 wet sponges to the face in 1 minute.
That's the latest attempt from professional record breaker David Rush that's bound to make a pretty big splash.
Yeah, the current record is 76. Rush breaks Guinness World Records to promote STEM education. I told you you'd like this. He has more than 150 titles to his name. Call it weird if you want, but Rush and his neighbors' feet helped promote a local summer reading program. By the way, 106 sponges were thrown in that 1 minute, and 92 got him smack dab in the face.
Okay, at least he was doing it for a good cause. I can respect that. But that's one of the weirdest records I've seen. The Guinness World Record book is full of that stuff, but that one...
Got to get creative.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Dave, the next couple of days, we might want to take a wet, cold sponge to the face.
Yeah, because
nice
records could be set with high temperatures, especially away from the lake, as many towns go over the 90-degree threshold. Here in the Twin Ports, I think we're going to be bubbling just under 90, but upper 80s, 88 and 87 for Thursday, Friday. That's fairly warm, all right. Looks like it'll stay sunny through Saturday. Our next rain chance, after tonight's fizzles out, frankly, comes back Sunday, could last through Tuesday.
Have a great night.